and welcome to the Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, is Logan. How are you, Logan?
Jordan, I'm doing a lot better than fans in Philadelphia as far as the baseball team's concerned. Jordan, it's not always
And
sunny in
Chicago.
right, and yeah, them too. They suck. But yeah, it's not always sunny in Philadelphia, Jordan. And unless you're which you only like one of the Philadelphia teams, Jordan. And I wanted to start it out by saying congratulations to you
Thank
and
you.
your Philadelphia Union. That's exciting. Non-COVID year to win Supporter Shield. So I'm not living on a
real
high.
one.
Yes, I'm on living vicariously through you. I'm on a high.
Yeah, it was great. So Saturday started off really rough. I was bending down to put my dog's harness on and back spasm. I could not walk that day. Like seriously, I had trouble walking to the bathroom, which is like 5 feet down the road.
Oh wow!
It's an outhouse.
I was gonna say Jordan lives out in the wilderness, guys.
5 feet from my bedroom or whatever. It was just a really rough day. But one thing that did make it better was the Union playing for a trophy at home and sealing it at home. Yeah, I mean, 2020 was very special because it was the first thing that the Union had done like that. They had lost Open Cups every time I had gone to a final, even when I haven't gone to a final. When they were in Houston, they lost that one. And it was just sort of becoming that mentality of the team. And I think of the fans too, that what's the point? We're never actually going to win this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And it took them until 2019 to win a playoff game at all. When they beat the Red Bulls. I was there, so I'm not all bad luck, I guess. But 2020, there were some asterisks there. Not just the COVID year, but you have, because it was a COVID year, less games. Then you also have, so that's less chance of collapse. You have less teams that you're playing against. Like the Union faced like the Revs 3 times in the final stretch of the season because we were going by that like market, right? Of like, oh, you're around like as close as you can because we're not limiting travel and stuff. So this one felt different because not only is it a regular season, Logan, but many people have called this the greatest race of the Supporter Shield.
Yeah.
So while we won't have the most points in a Supporter Shield victory, we'll get close. It won't be far off if they win the next game. But it was one where they had a lot of pressure on them. There was chances for them to blow this, and they didn't blow it.
I think this would be the year that if I was going to win the Supporter Shield, that I'd feel like, man, we've really accomplished something because of how good teams were this season. I mean, you and I've talked. What's wild about MLS, and you don't get this with any other. I would almost say any other sport, but baseball kind of has this happen, and it's happened quite a bit this year. Where I wouldn't say teams collapsed in MLS, but there was so much jockeying for positioning in the Eastern and Western Conference, and I think what makes MLS so great is there is, and I think this is something the NBA moved toward, and they got into some trouble with salary cap and allowing teams to build big threes and these mega teams. I think what MLS has done, and I know we might not always like the roster rules and understand all the roster rules. I know I don't. I know there's a lot of people that don't, and I think it's cool because it allows for so much to happen in an MLS regular season that I think it's hard to explain to other fans. Whereas, like right now, Jordan, we're at that point in the Premier League where you're going to start to see the teams float to the top and the other teams go into their positioning of, middle of the table and then lower table relegation. They don't have, there's nothing that's really going to change in those teams unless injury happens. So I don't know. It's so cool to have parity in this league. And you and I know for a fact we're pretty down on the Union going into the season, just because of the changes that they made. And I'm not going to lie, I think a lot of people probably question Bradley Carnell's appointing Um, and getting rid of Jim Curtin, who'd been there forever. I had no idea that the Union were going to be this good, Jordan, but they end up being one of the best teams that we've seen in MLS. And I think it starts with Bradley Carnell, but it also starts with that defense that they've now built that was elite before. I think it's even more elite than it was. And I think that's scary going into the playoffs where teams are going to have to try to beat them in a series.
Yeah, I've apologized to Bradley Carnell on this podcast quite a lot as we kept going because, this was a season going into it where I was very down on them because you're firing Jim Curtin, who had no. Yeah, I mean there was issues there maybe, right? Last year wasn't great, but
Yeah.
he got you to an MLS Cup final that you were actually winning until Gareth Bale equalized at the very, very, very last second and lose a penalty shootout, which is pretty much a coin flip. And then there was the discontent when they were letting Bedoya walk, and Curtin kind of backed Bedoya and they re-signed him, and then they've continued to re-sign him, to where he's on this team as well here. And he got on the field during that game, and it was just like we weren't the only ones, right? It was a pretty foul mood in the air. And when you're looking at, yeah, Carnell, you're like, okay, yeah, he had a great year once with St. Louis, but the second year was awful. But since he left, it's gotten worse, right?
Yeah.
So, like, by the way, Carnell, very classy gentleman. Did you see this, Logan, when they were trying to get him, the people on the field interviewing him post game was like asking him about St. Louis and their
Yeah.
situation, and he was just like, nope, and he left. And I'm
Yep.
like, that's the right move
Yeah.
there. You know, because St. Louis fans said it themselves. Uh, you know, they just want a supporter shield. We fired our GM and we're looking
Yeah.
to hire a new GM and a new coach. Obviously, you see which path was the right one there for for Carnell. And it seems like he and Ernst have found a way to work together. And Carnell had them playing Red Bull style soccer. He used to be 2018 when the Red Bulls won a supporter shield. He was an assistant coach there. So I mean, it seems like everything is just going good. The only concern I would have with that is that the Red Bulls have never won an MLS Cup. So I kind of
Right.
worry, like, oh my God, is this like we're going to be the team that wins supporter shields and not win the cup? But you know what? I'll keep filling up the trophy cabinet. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, keep filling that up however you do. So that was just a great result on Saturday for the Union. And I sometimes I can't believe it still, just this was a team that for the first 10 years of its existence didn't win anything.
Right.
Okay. And for the first few years, first year, my screen just froze.
You're good. I can hear you.
Okay. The first year, the in 2010, it's an expansion year. The team was whatever. 2011, we get to the playoffs for the first time. And then 2012, we go backwards, and it was a really tough a really tough time then. And then 2013, 2014, 2014 is when Curtin gets hired, and we start to slowly work our way up there. But it still took like
Mm-hmm.
6 years to get that first trophy after Curtin came aboard. And then
Right.
you have that string of success from 2020, 2021, 2022, and then not really reliving that success until now. So overall, it's been one of those type of slow start as a franchise, while you see teams like San Diego, who are setting point records for expansion. That's not the Union story, but they're finally here. They've rebounded from a tough year last year. Now they're the Supporters Shield winners. We'll see what they do next game, decision day, which is not next week, right? Because
Right.
The friendlies, but they're able to maybe rest some people, get ready for this thing, and let's pull up a thing here. I got a picture made here that I shared on there. This is the story so far. So these are our cup winners for the season so far. Leagues Cup, Seattle. We talked about them. They won every single trophy now. Nashville won the Open Cup since the last time we recorded. So they have their first trophy as well. And then the Union claimed the Supporters Shield. And that leaves that question mark for MLS Cup this December. We'll see who will win it. I still got my money on Atlanta, apparently, from our graphics here.
That's not going to go well.
Huh. No, they're already eliminated. They're already eliminated. But what do you think of this, Logan, here? Nashville gets their first trophy. Union get their second trophy. Seattle have claimed all the trophies. Where do you see MLS Cup kind of going? I'll show you this as well. This can kind of segue into it. If the playoffs started today, here's our layout. This is from MLS website here. The Union have to wait to see who they face in the wild card. San Diego, as of right now, would also win the West and would be sitting out waiting for Dallas and RSL. The Union are waiting for Chicago, Columbus. And then we have Vancouver, Portland, Minnesota, Austin, LAFC, Seattle. And then over in the East, Cincinnati, Orlando, Miami, Nashville, Charlotte, NYCFC. So, who is like your favorite if this is how it stands? All the East teams are locked in, by the way. They just have to jockey for positions, I think. But all the East teams are locked in. That means Red Bulls end their 15-year postseason appearance streak. So that's gone.
Yeah.
But where do you kind of see it going? The East is locked in. The West is not as locked in right now. But looking at this, who has a good path? Who are you feeling good about?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the bracket, right away, my attention goes towards the top right, just because that's a mess, Jordan. Like that is a literal mess of a team that you have to go through. I mean, the fact that Cincinnati, Orlando, the winner will face the winner of Miami and Nashville, like those four teams at times, Jordan, look like they could push for Supporter Shield. And they went on runs this season. I would actually say they've kind of all come back down to earth a little bit. Like I would say none of those four are playing extremely well to where it'd be like, oh, this is the obvious choice to come out of those four. Obviously, you have Lionel Messi. That's a big thing, but he's been dealing with some injury issues. I know.
And this is the last run for Busquets and Jordi Alba. They're retiring.
Right. So you've got that. I think obviously in that quadrant, I think everybody will give the favorite to Miami, but they're going to have to go to Cincinnati likely, unless Orlando or whoever jumps in that 7th spot. And again, they're all jockeying for positions, but I still think that's going to favor Miami. I don't really see Miami moving out of the 3. So I think that they're going to be a lock there. Jordan, I've got the Union probably coming out of the bottom. So I think the Eastern Conference final would be the Herons versus the Union. I would give an advantage, but I'd give an advantage to the Union just because we've learned that if you can sit back and defend, you can pretty much nullify what Miami wants to do for the most part. You just got to hope that Messi can't unlock everything. And I've got full faith that if there's a defense out there that can stop a Lionel Messi in one game, that would be the Union at home. I think they would be good on the counter. I actually think the Union are going to have one of the easier shakeouts. I know NYCFC has been playing well. I just don't have – I don't know. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I don't have confidence in a New York team to do well enough in a playoff series that deep into the playoffs to beat the Union. So I'd give the Union, a pretty good chance here. I think they want to try to avoid the Crew like the plague.
That's my worry. Yeah. I mean, like if you look at as it stands right now, Chicago and Columbus in the wild card, I would take facing Chicago
Yeah.
a million times over than facing Columbus. Just because they're a team that can get sneaky hot. They have the great manager, great players. Nagbe is going to be retiring as well, right? Like, um, so we you have all of that going on with Columbus, and it's like I don't know if it's the shocking thing is that they're ninth as of the current standing or when this was posted. I guess it was posted today, or maybe yesterday. I don't know, but if I pull up the standings as of now,
Yeah, they're all in their right spots.
yeah, they're on the right spots. Okay, so now there's only 2 points that separate them and Orlando. Orlando has a game in hand as it stands. So, I mean, like Orlando for a long time was fighting in that top 4
Yeah.
conversation. And then, like, what happened? They just plummet here at the end?
They've got 2 games in hand, so technically they could still get back up into they're gonna get into the or sorry, 1 game in hand. They could technically get back up into those spots, but they haven't played as well. Like I said, like, they
Right.
haven't
There's only
played as
3
well.
points between them and Charlotte. So, I mean, it is like this just bunched
Right.
crew here. And no pun intended. In this 4 to 9,
Yeah.
5 points separating them.
You know what's wild? I'm looking at the table right now, Jordan. I didn't realize Cincinnati has 11 away wins and only 4 losses. They only have 8 wins at home, so they've not been as good at home. And I did know they haven't been as good at home, but like I didn't know they were that good on the road. Like they've been excellent on the road, so they're probably bummed that they're that
Yeah,
they're
that,
the
that they
higher
did
seed.
host it.
Like God damn. So I think, but on the Western Conference, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, but I really do think it's LAFC at the top, and then it's going to take everybody to try to knock them out because at the rate in which they're playing, Jordan, it reminds me of old LAFC when Carlos Vela was in his prime, and you're talking about Jordan, probably the most arguably the best franchise in the league right now. Like if you take a span of the last, however long they've been in the league, and this is my question to you though,
7 years.
is I think with LAFC, they are currently the kings of the castle. I know LA Galaxy will argue, well, what about us? But LAFC has had sustained success for a very long time. But I wouldn't I if the Union can get an MLS Cup, they're gonna enter the conversation of like they've done this pretty regularly now. Like where they've
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
really good teams very deep into playoff runs. They've
Without
now won.
spending a bunch
Right.
of money is
Exactly.
another thing. That other owners in the
Right.
league will look at them and be like, "Can we do that
That's the
instead
blueprint.
of
Yeah.
instead of spending uh, uh, Olivier Giroud money that
Right.
doesn't work out?" Like what's crazy to me about LAFC is they sit 4th currently.
Yeah.
They have 2 games in hand.
Mhm.
They can, if you add 6 points to 56 points, that'd be 62. That would be higher than San Diego right now.
Yeah.
So they're not even ruled out of winning
Right.
the Western Conference right now after a
Yeah.
kind of a slow start. And we know this is Trundle's final run here
Yeah.
as he's going to be going, moving back to Germany.
Mhm.
Um, and there's rumors of Tata Martino being linked to them. That can go one of 2 ways with how his MLS tenure has been. But they're going to be like the premier destination for a manager right now,
Mhm.
because of what they spend, their history. They're in LA, right? Like that is going to be a pretty big draw for whoever they get. And like I said, they may actually flip this to be hosting the 1 seed, which means they'd be waiting for the wild card winner.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that can still change here. But in the West, I would actually love for it to stay right how it is because I think LAFC Seattle would be a really fun
Yeah, it would be.
matchup right now. Um, And same thing with having like a Cascadia matchup for Vancouver and Portland, I think would be a lot of fun. But otherwise, I think I probably lean more to you being right. The LAFC is probably going to be that one that just they have the experience, right? Like as much
Right.
as I would love Vancouver to just run the Western table or San Diego to run the Western table here and get to an MLS final, I think that'd be
Mhm.
really fun. Same
I
thing with
think
like
so too.
Minnesota, a team that hasn't won it before, um, getting there would be a lot of fun, but it's just the experience. And if it's not
Mhm.
LAFC, the experience of Seattle is there too. Like we said, they've won every trophy in North America. Like this is there's still some heavy hitters in that Western Conference that can really throw a wrench in things, despite how good Vancouver and San Diego have been. Now, Vancouver has a game in hand as well, so they can get to 63 points as it stands, and they would be 1 point above LA going into decision day. So that would be an interesting um, bit here. But so Vancouver can actually leapfrog San Diego as well. And then you're looking at, okay, San Diego faces Portland and Vancouver has the bye. Not a bye, but waiting for either Dallas, RSL. Other teams that are in the hunt right now, Rapids and San Jose.
Mhm.
The San Jose is just 2 points away. So obviously, if they win decision day and other results go their way, they can still technically make it. There's Bruce Arena there. There is a possibility. I don't think it's as likely as probably Colorado, who could probably still get in. They're tied with RSL on points, so there's a chance there. But I think the West is exciting because for once we've kind of gotten different teams in that top echelon that we don't usually have. The East looks
Yeah.
very similar. You get Charlotte that's kind of broken in, but the rest of the East is pretty
Right. It looks
similar,
the
right?
same. Yeah.
Fire are
I was gonna say
dangling there, right?
the Red Bull really in Atlanta are the only ones that are kind of like, hey, where'd you guys go?
Yeah,
um,
yeah. But
but
like in other years recently, we had like Houston, the Rapids, St. Louis, SKC, and LA make the
mhm.
playoffs. Those are 5 teams that are cycled out now, and we're getting Austin, we're getting San Diego,
The Loons
Minnesota.
are all the way up there.
They're
Look at them
usually
go.
around there, but
Yeah.
like they're more of that wild card team. I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't. What year was that? 2020 playoffs where they almost made
Yes,
MLS Cup.
I believe it was. Yes.
Because I think it was right before you jumped on
Yep.
here, where they were very close to making it, and Seattle came back and won on like leg 2 for like a huge
Yeah.
amount or whatever, and they got in there. So there's all of these. Yeah, I think that was the year because then I think Crew won MLS Cup against Seattle or something. So it's really fun. I don't know where this goes. The only downside to this, Logan, is that we're unfortunately sticking with the best of 3
Yeah.
for this first round, which I think is played out at this point. I don't know. Like that's another thing where you're like, okay, maybe even if the Union get the Crew would have to win twice.
Yeah.
All right, maybe the Union should be able to do that. But it feels silly for the first round to have more of those opportunities than like the conference championship. I don't know. Like I think it was fun the first year, and I think it was like, oh, how will this work? How will it do? But now we're on what, year 3 of the best of 3, and I
Mhm.
don't know if it's gonna be that exciting. It drags it out way too long. We go about like a whole week or so for one series, and then we then hit the November international window, and then we
Mhm.
come back to do boom, 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 boom MLS Cup. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing that I think baseball has struggled with. The NBA,
But baseball, they
they
can play every day at least.
right.
Like the
That's
soccer, you
true.
can't.
Yeah, that's true, and they've done a good job of spreading these for these first series out. So like there's soccer every night, but I think basketball didn't really struggle with it because they went straight to game sevens. Like they were just like, we're not even gonna mess with this anymore. Like it's 7. You can't do that in soccer, obviously. And then with soccer, it's kind of like the NFL. You have to have enough games off in between to let the players recover because it's a ton of running and it's very physical. Um, I don't think there's a perfect solution, Jordan, but I don't think that the 3 games is the answer. I think going back to the one and out, the one and done, I like that. I like the idea of a one and done.
I mean,
I
we
know
had
that,
one of our best. We had one of our best playoffs. It was that 2022 when the
yeah,
Union got to MLS Cup final against LAFC right before they changed it,
yeah,
right? Where it was just like so exciting.
right,
Everything was working as intended.
yeah,
And then they changed it and it got worse. And you
yeah.
lose momentum.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, then you run into the issue of like what they were in Portland. I know it's gets cold up there quick anyway, but like they were playing in Portland, it was like raining slash sleeting in their final game when they were playing against NYCFC. So like, I don't know. Like I just feel obviously it's revenue based, but um, you're right. I just don't think there's. It kind of makes it underwhelming, unclimactic. Like it just kind of kills that first series. It's like I mean, what'd you expect? The better team's gonna win, but they're just prolonging this, like it for the most part,
Sometimes, right? I
right?
mean, we
Right.
did
Yeah,
have
we've had
like the
upsets. Yes.
Atlanta upsetting Miami a couple
SKC.
years ago,
Yes.
SKC upsetting St. Louis, right?
Right.
But more times than not,
Yeah.
the best team wins.
Right. Especially in these first rounds. I'd agree with you. Like maybe it's kind of fun if they experimented in the second round, right? Of a best of 3. I don't know.
Right,
Like
right, right.
if you're gonna do it then. Like do it during the Eastern Conference Finals or Western Conference Finals. Maybe that's more fun. But definitely not the final. The final, don't ever. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of like some people even propose like how Champions League used to do the 2-leg and then the final was just the 1 game. I was like,
We used to do that here.
right,
We used to have a home and
the
away
aggregate,
and
yeah,
aggregate and stuff, but then it was not working as well.
right,
Like, and it ended up, they scrapped it for having one playoff game per round, and everybody loved it. And then again, the next year they're like, "Oh, we moved to Apple, so we gotta give them more games."
yeah,
Uh, so I don't know what the fix is there if you want to give them more games, but I don't think best of 3 is it for the first round. Can maybe do a conference final that way to say, "Hey, we really want the best team to move on." But then it
yeah,
seems like why not just give the best team an automatic bid? Like
yeah,
if you want the best team to move on, then you don't play 3 games.
right. I mean, even if I hate to do this, but like as they expand, and maybe this is the route they're going, maybe this is what it'll be, but maybe making, and I know it won't be the most exciting thing, but maybe it will, making the wild like how baseball does it, where the best 2 teams in the conference have a bye, and then the wild cards. That one seems more realistic though, because then you're allowing the wild card to kind of play out realistically, where it's like you give 3 games in those wild card rounds to try to knock each other out
Right,
to get
right.
into the playoff technically.
Yeah, and then it's like going on concurrently with the
Yeah,
other games, so that way
yeah.
then once they're done that, they go face the team that was resting or something.
Right. Because the more
You
that
just can't,
teams,
even if you wanted to do best of 3, we've already solved it a million times, which is
yeah,
like Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday being the games or whatever.
yeah,
And then Sunday, like Sunday, Tuesday, or like Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and then no, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday you could do, and then you would do like Sunday, Thursday, Sunday or something if you want it multiple days of games, and you would just do maybe like one conference on Saturday, the West Conference on Sunday, or you do half of the East on Saturday, half of the East on Sunday, half of the East on Sunday, half the East on Saturday. It's that type of thing. So that way you're getting. But there's just better solutions than taking a full week and a half to do
it
the
is
3
brutal.
games.
because I know when you and I do the podcast, it's kind of like, all right, like
We've missed a
yeah,
recording
yeah,
on the play. I know we've been doing that a lot lately, but if we missed a recording during the playoffs last year,
yeah,
and it didn't matter because nothing had changed.
right, yeah, I do remember that, but
Frustrating.
yes,
Okay, we've kind of talked about it. Darlington Nagbe is retiring at the end of the season. So is Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba. So a lot of retirements coming through here at the end of the season. Nagbe kind of surprised me because I didn't think he was that old. I didn't even look up his age, but I mean, like
35.
35.
So
Yeah,
he's a dinosaur basically.
Whoa! I'm 34. He's a
I know.
young man still.
I was in the group chat with Andrew, and Andrew's 35, going on 36. I'm like, dude, that is ancient. Shout out to Andrew; he always listens. It's fun.
Yes, and I want your fire. I want to face them.
Yeah.
And then we lose to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's shocking. Nagbe, I remember him playing in college. It's kind of getting to this weird point now where I feel so old that I'm seeing players come in
It is weird, isn't it?
like Rizzo, right?
It's weird.
I remember him coming through while I was in college or whatever,
Mhm.
and then he is retired. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like that should make sense yet.
No, but it makes sense because, like, I mean, as those guys were coming through, we're probably in college, which is
Yeah.
wild to think. And then
And we're
14,
almost their
15 years,
age, and
right?
then now
Yeah.
they're retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a weird, it's a humbling experience.
I
I think my dad said when
remember
you turn 40, like most of the people you grew up watching are done. Like
yeah.
completely grew up watching. Like through your college years are done. Like that's crazy. So
And then at some point you'll be an adult when they break through, and adult when they retire, and that's scary.
I mean, our kids are already showing up on the field,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we have that problem with baseball,
Jackson
especially.
Holiday,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
on the field.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, those are like, I remember when I would play like Madden or
Mhm.
the FIFA or AAA baseball, all those, and I could not enter my real birth year because it was too
Oh, because you're too
early.
young. Yeah.
I was too young. And now I'm like, I can't use my real birth year or else I'll be retiring in this damn game.
After 5 seasons. Not even in football, you'd
Not
be like
even.
2 years. Like you'd be at
Maybe a
the end.
year
Yeah,
that I'm retired.
that's funny.
Unless I'm
That
Tom
is
Brady. But yeah,
right.
so that's kind of that's a bummer now. Yeah, so that sucks.
So the weird thing is, Jordan, I don't know if you feel the same way. Like it's definitely how it's happening in soccer more so I feel than it's happening in the other sports because technically LeBron's still around, so he's still kind of the king. Curry's still around, those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, in football, uh, like we're in that weird like football's in a weird like range because like Josh Allen was in college when I was in like like that's kind of weird because like Josh Allen and them are right around my age, and so like they feel it, but like soccer's the first real sport, Jordan, that I've noticed like the face of the game has changed like completely. Like the NBA's coming, the baseball's starting to shift. Like it's Shohei, but like Shohei's a little older, so it doesn't feel that way. Bryce Harper
It's
was really young.
already,
Like
and like soccer has already changed throughout my watching experience. Like
right.
I remember when I was first getting into soccer, the face was Ronaldinho
Yeah.
and like Kaká and Rooney. And then it goes to
Messi,
Messi was
Ronaldo.
still breaking in, and then Messi, Ronaldo, and it was them for the longest time.
Yep. And then
But then
Neymar came
Neymar
around.
kind of gets
Yeah.
in there, and Mbappe gets in there. But now you get like the main face is probably already starting to shift to like Lamine Yamal.
Yeah. Right.
It's like
It's weird.
is
And
already
Holland
becoming
is
like
younger. Yeah.
there
Like
was a
yeah.
kid out biking in my neighborhood, Logan,
Yamal.
who had a Spain jersey on, and I'm like, who's 17 or whatever? And it was Yamal, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my, already? He's still
Yeah.
young. How are you got his jersey?
It is really weird, Jordan, seeing you probably can relate to this. It's seeing like obviously you just did, but seeing a Barcelona jersey and it's not Messi. It's like,
Messi, yeah.
whoa, that throws me. Like that's the one. Like Spain, I get it, right? Like, but like
Right.
seeing a Barcelona jersey and seeing not number 10 on it is like mind blowing. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
I
when
was
we see like LeBron, like when we see a Cavs jersey in years to come, or like
right.
Lakers, and like it's not Kobe or it's not LeBron. And it's like, whoa, what is that? So
Or a Wizards jersey, and it's not
like SAR, yeah, I know it's crazy. It's
Gilbert
like Gilbert
Arenas.
Arenas.
Him or John Wall is probably the only ones that I'd see walking around.
Yeah,
But no, yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, the look, soccer is shifting.
we're getting old, dude.
And
That's what it is.
it is, yeah, it's just the scary reality of getting old. But I another thing that's been a bummer is that the World Cup next year will kind of transition in that as well with the roster.
Mhm.
But these I submitted for the visa pre-draw thing, did not get anything. And then you look at how expensive these tickets are, even the regular FIFA prices,
Mhm.
which $60 for category 4. And then you look at the map and like category 4 is only in the corners at the very, very top.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I'm not getting a chance to go see this. Then Verizon did a thing where you could like get free tickets by clicking this thing. And then I click it as soon as it comes up. I'm like, boom, boom, already out. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how we're not going to get tickets to this thing. So that's a bummer.
Well, I don't know about you, but I clicked on something and I ordered something from somewhere. It's coming. I get a stadium. They told me I was getting a stadium.
A
Like
whole stadium.
they just asked me for the social security. I was like, yeah, sure. Like
So
if
you
I can
got
get
like
a
you got 60,000 of those tickets.
yeah,
You get a
I
whole
got a
stadium.
whole yeah. They just needed my social security. It's really weird.
Oh,
I
you
don't
know what?
know.
When it comes into, it's going to be like a keychain of like a stadium.
It's like from Timu.
It says World Cup 2027, and you're like, it's not even the right year.
And it's spelled with a B
Goddamn.
instead of a P. World Cup.
Yeah, like Tupperware instead of Tupperware.
Oh
Uh,
gosh. Yeah, so those listeners out there, it is Tupperware, not
Tupperware.
Tupperware. And I didn't
Yeah.
know people thought it was Tupperware, but we watched Big Brother and we found out quickly that it was indeed people think it is that. Oh, look at that camp
That's what
roster.
people think. Yeah, here we go. Got the October camp roster here. No Zach Steffen. So in the goalkeepers, we got Chris Brady, Matt Freese, Patrick Schulte, Matt Turner. Defenders, we have Max Arfston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alex Freeman, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson. Midfielders, Brendan Aronson, Diego Luna, Weston McKennie, Ada Morris, Christian Roldan, James Sands, Tanner Tessman, Malik Tillman. And forwards, Patrick Ajamong, Balagoon, Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, Haji Wright, and Alex Andeas, which is a much better roster than the September rosters. Right?
It's not close, I don't think. But,
No,
yeah,
I mean, I
it
I
looks
think we're
good.
finally getting maybe a little bit more shape of what he thinks of his core team, maybe here for Poch.
Yeah, Jordan. I'm really excited about our defenders. Like, I
Yeah,
really
no,
like Max
yeah.
Arston. Alex Freeman's played really well for Orlando City. Mark McKenzie's been pretty decent. Chris Richards probably been one of the best defenders. Like, I like the way that core looks. It's
The
fun
omission
seeing.
there is Scally. People
Yeah,
asking where Joe Scally is, but
right. I think Gio Reyna and Scally were the ones that people were up in
yes,
arms about. But again, you and I've talked about this many times. Gio Reyna has gone many places and has just not figured out. I don't know if it's a attitude thing, if it's a fit thing, like if it's him not being healthy enough. Like it just seems like the Gio Reyna clock is winding down. Um, I'll be interested to see in the next camp because, like you said, Jordan, we're getting really close. I mean, we're December is going to hit. All these guys are going to go on break from Premier League. They'll play quite a bit of fixtures in December heading into January. And then once the calendar rolls over, that's when you're going to see. I imagine the January camp's going to be the similar cupcake, but February, I mean, we're only a couple of camps out, Jordan, from figuring out what World Cup's going to look like. And I will say, I am more positive because of the last showing where they actually came and showed that they could compete in some of these games again, I've gotten a little bit
1
more
out of 2.
positive. Right. I've gotten a little bit more positive with the window that they had heading into October from September. So we will see, but feeling a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think seeing this roster made me feel like, okay, it's not everybody on the outs
Yeah.
for him right now. So
Right.
that's good. That's good. But yeah, what we have Friday is against Ecuador at Q2 Stadium. And then the following match is on Tuesday against Australia at 9:00. And that one is at Colorado Dick's Sporting Goods Park. So those are the 2 games that we have coming up in this window. Then, of course, we have that November window. And then those are all the ones that are scheduled right now. We will have like a January window that won't probably have most of the overseas team like usual. But those are all of the scheduled friendlies as of now. And then, of course, World Cup in June. We'll have some build up to that with friendlies as well. So it's getting close. It's scary how close it is. Like the fact that the draw is in 2 months, December 5th, I believe it is. Maybe I'll be able to try to go live for that draw, or we'll see what we can do here for that, depending on. It's a little tough right now with the kid, but
I'll just
hopefully,
take that day off. What day is it again?
I think it's December 5th, Friday.
Okay.
I think it's a Friday or something.
Oh yeah. Depending on what time it is, I could go live.
Yeah, I forget what time the draw is. But yeah, if not, we'll do an immediate reaction afterward, because I do want to get something out there, right, that shows, hey, this is our draw, like we did for Qatar in 2022. We came home from work and immediately talked about that.
I let the kids watch it in school. I remember that.
Yeah,
I was the cool teacher,
you were.
Yeah. I'm a sicko, Jordan. I was watching on my break the Egypt and is it Djibouti game.
Yeah, Egypt
I was like,
qualified.
it's on, and Salah scored, and I was like, look at this. So that's pretty cool. But
Egypt qualified, and they'll be over here as well. That's a big one. They haven't qualified since 2018, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's when the U.S. didn't qualify. But yeah, so I'm really excited for this. I think this roster is mostly good. There's just some things that you're like, do we need to? I think it's mostly as good as you're going to get right now. I mean, like you said, there's a couple names like Reyna and Scally that people are kind of like, what? But whatever at this point. This is, they may not be fully out by now. If like Gio starts scoring and doing stuff where he's at,
oh,
Musa called in.
Musa was also the other one.
Musa was the other one. That's right.
Yeah.
And there was the he is one that did take off during the Gold Cup. So people were theorizing about that, especially because he didn't have an injury the way that Pulisic, I guess, had an injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're still not sure about what happened there.
No, he was just his tongue hurt from all the talking he did.
Yeah. Oh man. So that's where we're kind of standing with that going into these friendlies over the next couple days. Today is actually a Major League Soccer game we have here because LAFC is playing one of their makeup games. So by the time you're listening to this, you already know, probably, it's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. You'll probably already know when we were talking about those standings. They'd be like, oh, they can't get first anymore or whatever. I don't know, whatever you're going to be upset about. But if they win that game today, of course, they'd have 59 points. That would put them third with a game in hand still to San Diego. They would be even on games with Vancouver. So that's what we're looking at going into tonight's game. And then, like I said, we have friendlies on Friday. We have some MLS games on Saturday here for the teams that are making up games. Miami facing off against Atlanta. Orlando facing a hard game here against Vancouver. But it's in Orlando, so it might be okay.
I'll be there.
Are you?
Yeah, we got tickets through Ashley's work, so we'll be there.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, it was obviously it's a makeup game. We were supposed to go.
I think you mentioned
it was the
that,
first night of it was like the first weekend of Horror Nights we were gonna go, and then they were like, no, it got moved because of, was it Open Cup? One of them moved.
Oh, I think Matt told me about this when I was down there. But yeah, then we have Seattle RSL at 9:30 and LA Dallas at 10:30 on Saturday. Sunday we have Austin and LAFC. So LAFC, of course, has to be caught up with the games by this week because next week is decision day, the 18th, right? Is that the right day? Yeah, 18th.
Yeah, it's gonna get wild.
So they have to play tonight and Sunday, as well as they've played, last Sunday. I think they were like the last game on Sunday. They faced Atlanta then. Then they play Wednesday, then they play Sunday, and then they'll be caught up, ready to play Saturday, decision day, 6 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to say these times here in case if we have something fall through next week. Okay, we have Atlanta and DC at 6, Charlotte and Philly, Columbus, Red Bull, New York, Cincy, Montreal, Nashville, Miami, New England, Chicago, NYCFC, Seattle, Toronto, Orlando. Then at 9, Rapids, LAFC, LA Galaxy, Minnesota, Portland, San Diego, San Jose, Austin, SKC, Houston, St. Louis, RSL, and Vancouver versus Dallas. So those are your decision day matchups in case if something happens where we cannot record next week. There we go. Anything else that we did not touch on that we should have?
I'm just kind of going through. I don't think so.
It's a little slower now because things are in place. Teams are clinching. Wooden Spoon Watch. DC United coming for it. They're 25 points, LA Galaxy at 24, but LA has some games in hand. So they could theoretically not win Wooden Spoon, and DC United is gunning for it. I'll tell you, they're gunning for it this year. And we'll have a prediction right. Will that be one of the first times we've gotten one of these things right?
Maybe. Could be. Probably is.
It's got to be, right?
I would think so.
I can't remember the last time we would have.
Do either of us have Messi winning Golden Boot? Because that's also a tight race.
Maybe. Hold on. We had Golden Boot Messi.
Could be right on that.
We had Wooden Spoon DC. You could get this right if they win it. I predicted LAFC a supporter shield. You predicted Miami supporter.
I think it was one of the first years I didn't pick the Union. I usually pick
that's what we needed. That's what we needed.
Yeah,
all right. That's what. Yeah. Where did I put Union? By the way, I put them 9th. Still a playoff team. Just
pretty good.
Western Conference had LAFC winning it, and they still can. But we had Vancouver. I had Vancouver and San Diego 12th and 13th. But hey, guess what? Wooden Spoon, DC United. We could get that prediction right. We could get the Golden Boot right. And Logan is technically still eligible for MLS Cup and MVP. If MVP becomes Messi, we're still there.
Good.
We're still
might be our best year yet. Might be.
It might be. I wish I could have the time to go back and watch all of our predictions and then look at what we did. Or if you still have the photos of them or the files.
I don't think I do.
If we had the predictions written down somewhere. But anyway, that's that. Okay. Well, that'll wrap us up here. Thank you all for watching the Stateside Soccer Show. We'll be back next week. That's what we plan to. If not, it'll be the week after. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.